Right, let's welcome in another England legend. He's a former captain, a man captain, incredible 77 times for the Three Lions, a former teammate of Stuart Pearce as well. It's a very good morning to the England legend that is Terry Butcher. Terry, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, boys. How are you?
Morning, Tel.
We're all good, mate, and we're really looking forward to Sunday as well. If England wins Sunday, first question, if England wins Sunday, should Monday be a bank holiday back home? What do you think?
Well, it will be a blank holiday for a lot of people because they'll be hungover from the celebration. So they probably wouldn't make it to work anyway. So to all intents and purposes, it will be a bank holiday. But, well, we'll see what happens. They've got to win it first. And obviously a decision will be made after that or possibly not. But looking forward to it. We've waited, Stuart, we waited a long time to see England in a final away from our shores. And it's really lovely to see.
Yeah, how much pride, Tel, do you have in this squad and their achievement and Gareth's achievement over the last 8 years or so? You know, they've been consistently at the end of tournaments, you know. So how much pride do you have in the current squad?
Well, a lot of pride because they've certainly played some lovely football. I remember seeing them beat Spain in Spain quite a few years ago. I think it was the Nations League, and they were in the first half they were absolutely unbelievable. Just dominated Spain. 3-0 up, I think it was, and then Spain came back, but England won the game, and it was lovely to see England beat Spain, no matter what the competition, and they can certainly do that on Sunday. But I take a lot of pride because we've been there, we've trodden those steps, sort of thing, not to the finals, but it's a lovely feeling to see the next generation, or probably about 20 generations after us, actually do the business and get there to a final. So, yeah, there's a lot of pride. I'm very proud of England. I wasn't particularly proud of the first few games, but you grow into tournaments and you've just got to do enough to win it. It hasn't got to be a brilliant performance on Sunday from England by any stretch of the imagination. They just got to win it.
Can you offer an insight here? I know, obviously, the period that you were in the England squad and Bobby was the manager, Bobby Robson was the manager, and obviously you worked with him at club level as well. And I observed it as my part. I thought you had a special relationship with him. Do you see any parallels between Bobby and how he managed England and Gareth now?
Well, I think Gareth gets the names right, that's for sure. Bobby certainly didn't, but he got my name right. He just used my surname. But no, we did have a special relationship. When when he gives you your start and first professional contract in football, you're going to really love the man. And we all loved him because he made mistakes. He did some funny things, but he was very, very shrewd. And tactically, he was very clever. And Gareth has got this. He's got this wonderful group of players. He's had it for a long while. But he's moulded them into a team that never says die. They keep on going, and they have a belief in themselves and a belief, obviously, in Gareth. So there's lots of similarities by changing systems midway through a tournament, which is sort of unheard of these days. But he's done it in such a way that it's brought the best out of his players. And he like Bobby inspired people and made them better players. And Gareth has certainly done that when it comes to the international scene.
When you look at the defenders that England have, Terry, I mean, it's your specialist position, centre-half, and you played in a back four, you played in a three as well in your career. But when you look at the centre-halves that England have, do you feel more comfortable watching them when they're in a three or a flat back four?
It's got to the point now where I'm very comfortable watching England centre-backs. And Gay, for me, has been one of the men of the tournament. I think he's been outstanding. And Concert came in as well. Played in a system he sometimes doesn't play in, but he did really well. So there was all this concern about the back four and back three or whatever it's going to be before the tournament, but they certainly have answered all the questions and all the questions very well. So I take a lot of pride in watching them because they're sort of following in our footsteps and they have that sort of spirit as well. They never give up. They defend with their lives. And they can play with the ball as well. So, that was what we were all about. So it's lovely that sort of situation, that tradition has been carried on. But I have no worries with the back four. I think they've been excellent. It's about getting the right goals and at the right time, of course. That matters.
Tel, when I joined an England squad, I come in as a starry-eyed kid, and I look round the table on my first dinner, and there's Terry Butcher there, and there's Brian Robson, colossuses of England, and the messages of the pride that you had in the shirt. Do you think this next generation have got those role models, the Terry Butchers and the Brian Robsons, nowadays, the likes of Kane, the likes of Maguire? He's not in the squad this time round, but they get perceived in a slightly different way, but they have that same pride as yourself and your generation and my generation.
Well, we all had pride in the jersey. We felt very lucky, I think, to be there and be in the squad and be in the team. I mean, that's the way it was, and we had a lot of pride with the Three Lions, and we wore that shirt with dignity and class, and wanted it to be very, very successful. The boys are the same now. There's no doubt about it. They do have that pride in the jersey. They are now even more like role models than we were. We just got on with the job and went back and became sort of normal sort of first division players as it was then, or Premier League players now. But they have this pride. You can see them. They have this brand now more than anything else. They have this whole image that they need not to protect but to enhance all the time and become the best they can be, and that means becoming the best with England, but within a team. It's more of a team. Like the team now, at the start of the tournament, I thought there's a lot of individuals. There's players there that are they doing this for themselves or for the country? But they certainly proved that they're doing it for the country first, and then they're doing it for their families and teammates and friends afterwards. So I think the sort of situation has changed a lot. And when you reach the latter stages of competition abroad, you don't know what's going on back in England, or we never knew, did we? I think we just had Peter Beardsley. That was about it. But everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knows what goes on now, and they love that. They want to be part of that all the time, and they can do that. They got the world at their feet, so it's up to them. And I'm sure that they'll come up trumps on Sunday.
Talking a lot of sense here, Terry, when you talk about England growing into the tournament and and how any kind of win will do on Sunday. I totally agree with all of that. But what Sunday represents is a step up, and maybe a couple of steps up in class and quality to anything England have faced at this tournament. Spain have been the best team by far. So yeah, I'd take any kind of win, but they've got to find a way to beat a really good side on Sunday. How concerned are you about the qualities of Spain?
Well, I like them right from the word go, and the way that they play, they're together. They're a team that's come through together as well. They're hungry. They're very strong. Particularly with Rodri down the centre of the team. They just have, and they have that obviously. There was a Yamal on the wing as well, a brilliant talent. But Gareth is sometimes you look at Gareth's selection and he pits his wits against the team, trying to sort of combat what they have, but also releasing the shackles on his own side as well to say, right, go. But this is the default position is to come back and defend, and that's the shape. But just go and attack and, just move all over the place. And Foden in particular has done that in the centre position. But I look at Spain, and England shouldn't fear Spain. Of all the teams, they should fear is themselves if they don't play the way that they know they can play. And even if they get to that stage, they can still dig games out. They've still got the ability there, and the strength of character and the strength of teamwork to go and win games, no matter what the time, no matter what the position. So that gives you a lot of confidence as a player, knowing that you can dig it out if you have to. My worry is when England were to score first and then see what we've seen that before in semi-finals and in finals when they've scored first and then sat back. And I think the squad's learned from that, and I think the squad's big enough and bold enough now to carry that on. So if you can win games and you're not doing particularly well, as England have done particularly early on, then that certainly is a good standing for when you play the big teams. Don't fear Spain. You've beaten them before when they've been very strong, and teams should be really worried about what England can do.
I've just got a quick story to tell about Terry, if you don't mind, Tel. We played Tunisia prepping for the 1990 World Cup, right? And this was the unique relationship between him and the manager at the time. Terry's gone up for a corner, and Tunisian defenders try to mark him and manhandle him. Depends who you ask here. It was either a clash of heads or the best headbutt the world's ever seen. Terry's reduced this fella to absolutely sand. He crumbled, hit the deck. Never seen anything like it before. He's hit the deck. We've come in afterwards, and Bobby Robson said, Butcher, what did you do to him? I didn't touch him, Gaffer. I didn't touch him. The next day, we sat all the squad down. He went, Butcher, where are you? You didn't touch him. I didn't touch him, Gaffer. Honestly, I didn't. So he run the video and showed it. My God, this fella's crumbled like a column of sand when Terry's touched him. And we're all sat there, and all we heard at the back of the room was Gascoigne's voice. I didn't touch him.
Yeah.
That was the role model that I had when I was a young player. What chance I got, Butch, when you were influencing me like that?
Well, I only tapped his head with his cheekbone with my forehead.
Yeah.
I
He's just been
his
discharged last week.
I nearly broke his skull because I wasn't having a particularly good game, and I thought, well, I want to score from this free kick, and I nodded to Gazza. He put the ball in the box, and this guy tried to block me again, and I just put my head down and ran, and unfortunately, it struck his cheekbone, and there was this big egg. It was about like an Easter egg that came up on his cheek, but. Yeah, Bobby was Bobby. The thing about Bobby Robson was he could have a go at me and thereby have a go at the team as well, because I was one of the sort of established figures, and he used to do that. So I was like his sort of punch bag, and he used to hit me, or not hit me, but he used to have a go at me. And the lads then thought, well, if he's having a go at Butch, we better buck up.
It's fair game. Yeah.
I thought I was going to be banned from the World Cup, to be honest. But I was lucky that I got through. But yeah, that was a peach. Actually, I'm quite proud of that. Well, I shouldn't be, but I'm quite proud of it.
Good to take you down memory lane. Okay.
Yeah. There's a nice memory. Yeah, nice memory.
Not for him, it wasn't. Terry, great stuff. What a great story that was. Terry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good to talk, mate.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Great stuff. Terry Butcher, what an absolute legend. Coming up, are the Spaniards as confident as the English going into the final on Sunday live on talkSPORT? We'll find out next.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.